Hey guys, welcome to Love, Life, and Politics, where I talk about love, life, and politics. The people that I normally listen to, I have their links in the description below. Kind of recommend to you the multiple points of view that we should be digesting so we're never just stuck into a small bubble and are able to see other people's points of view and really get a good understanding of the things that we believe and the things that we're getting from our world today. Anyways, what I'm going to be talking about today is going to be three things. Media and liberal personalities defending the riots, America overwhelmingly supporting ending the riots, and a retired cop, John Dorn, losing his life to the protests. Anyways, without further ado, let's start. Number one, the thing that really bothers me, all these things bother me, but this right here makes me really kind of lose faith in our media establishments, is that they're defending riots. Most notably, Chris Cuomo essentially saying that the Constitution does not say that riots need to be nice or peaceful, even though it actually is said in the Constitution to peacefully assemble. So he doesn't know what he's talking about. But besides that point, it's like everywhere you see, if it's not Fox or you looking at YouTube, you're getting force-fed the idea that these protests are all peaceful and the riots are a minuscule part of it, and that part of it is something that should be ignored and not be made the focal point. No, that is not true. When people's buildings and belongings are being burned down, that takes a lot more precedence over people just protesting. One is destroying livelihoods. The other is protesting against the loss of people's livelihoods and lives. Isn't that just crazy and insane that they're okay with people burning down? Keep in mind, these are in the neighborhoods that they claim they want to build up, neighborhoods of poverty that they're trying to build up so that everybody can be equal. These people are going straight for these places and burning these places down. Immigrant run, black owned. Those are the buildings and communities that are being burnt down and looted right now. And these people claim that they're for the poor. These people claim that they're for the disenfranchised, yet they're supporting people burning it down. And good Lord, I hear a lot about whites, blacks. You guys love putting people in groups, and you love talking about groups of people. Here's a group for you: the left. If I were to go through all the people that are looting and rioting, I can almost guarantee you that more than 95% of them would not vote for Trump and vote Democrat. And I'm willing to find somebody out there that would disagree with that statement. Isn't it funny that the media paints people who are out there peacefully protesting the lockdowns and smears them up the wazoo? But when people are burning stuff down, looting, rioting, all of a sudden, you know what? This is what they need to be doing. It's about time that this is happening. These people are horrible, and I think they should be held to account for some of the things that are happening. If there's a connection between somebody watching what is on one of these networks and then turning around and going out and engaging in these rioting and protests, hold them liable. That's how I feel about it. If you guys are trying to excuse it, trying to hide the fact that all this bad stuff is happening in the back, you should be held responsible for all the things that you're allowing to happen. You are the media. You're supposed to be reporting the honest truth of the matter. The honest truth is, there are protests. There are peaceful protests. But there are a lot of rioting. Think about it. Nobody ever talks about somebody peacefully driving and then ramming into a mosque or ramming into a building or ramming into a church or ramming into a school. Nobody ever talks about what happens peacefully when in the end something bad happens. You do not hold other situations to that degree. Why are you doing it for this? It's because it fits your narrative. Every time that something would show that the people that you support are in a bad light, you don't say anything about it. But as soon as, my gosh, some of these people are really trying. They're trying to show that there's undercover cops. There's like a video of a man wearing black, using an umbrella, busting up some auto parts store or whatnot. And then these people out here, Cenk, the Young Turks, are trying to say that that's a cop, even though that there's ample evidence that Antifa tends to dress up in this attire with the umbrella. So let me get this straight. You want to say this is a horrible person. Oh my gosh, they're starting this, even though this is one of the people that you have supported, because you guys have definitely supported Antifa in the past. So these riots are 100% to blame on the Democrats and people who have liberal leanings. 100%. And everybody who supports it tries to, I understand. No. You know what? I can understand the feeling of a man who walks into his house and sees his woman laying with another man. But I think that we need to put him in jail, lay the hammer on him if he shoots, kills, or beats both of them. If he does any of those things to them, I don't care that I understand where he's coming from, because I 100% understand the anger that is coming from seeing your woman laying with another man. But you still gotta lay down the effing hammer if he tries to beat them or kills them. 13 people have died as a result of these riots. You know how many unarmed black people died last year? It's from liberal sources, by the way. 14. By the end of all this, more people would have died from these protests than actual unarmed black men died last year from the hands of cops. Y'all are BS. Y'all are full of crap. You guys are full of crap. You guys are trying to be opportunistic and using this to further your narrative that this country is as racist as it really is. And honestly, let's talk about what the media won't talk about. Black people, as a group, commit more crimes than every other group. We are responsible for 50% of the murders, and we're only 13% of the population. If you want to take it down to black men, because it's overwhelmingly black men doing, that's 6% of the population responsible for 50% of the murders. And I've gone through the crime statistics in almost every category. African Americans, blacks, exceed proportionality to their population in almost every category. So if those are the facts, black communities tend to have higher crime, and that might be something that's not necessarily attached to blacks, but just attached to poverty. Regardless of how you're looking at it, those areas commit more crimes, and officers have a job to stop crime, prevent crime, or bring you to justice for committing them. They don't give you that justice out on the streets, but they're supposed to apprehend you so that you'll be able to face the courts. That's their jobs. When these communities are interacting with cops significantly more than the rest of the population, that means they're going to be interacting with cops a whole lot more than the rest of the population, which means that the likelihood of something going wrong and someone losing their life at the hands of a cop are higher than those of the rest of the population. It does not mean cops are racist. Now, I definitely 100% agree that what happened to The gentleman that had his neck essentially curb stomped in a weird way with a knee, that should not have happened. 100%. Those cops should be put to justice as best as the law could, because their job is to protect. Even though you're supposed to be apprehending someone, you got to make sure that they're healthy. You got to make sure that you are not conflicting pain or suffering to them. You're supposed to bring them to the court system and let the court system work from there. These people failed and somebody lost their life. Therefore, they need to be punished. And all cops that do that need to be punished. It's funny to me that people will get mad when you overgeneralize the negative things that may be associated with black people. But they're 100% okay with the negative things that may be associated with cops. I'm willing to say the overwhelming majority of black people are good black people that do not commit crimes. Period. I'm also willing to say that the overwhelming majority of cops are good cops. We need to punish those that do bad. Black, white, cop, non-cop, period. This is supposed to be something that's about justice, and the media is trying to make it about race. We knew from the day one, the only thing we knew about this case is that a cop, through his negligence or deliberateness, I don't know the motives behind this man, killed a man that should not have been killed. That is the only thing that the media should have said, could be said factually. Everything else is conjecture and opinion. And they're pushing their opinion and making black people feel more disenfranchised than they should. Instead of focusing on our own communities and bettering them, making sure that our fathers are in the home, disciplining our kids so that they do not get in trouble, so that they're able to graduate high school, get married, get jobs, and essentially get out of poverty. Generationally, we can fix this mess in a generation. If fathers came into the home and did what fathers needed to do, and we stopped incentivizing single motherhood, praising single motherhood, 1 generation, 2 generations, we're not having this problem at all. Not at all. But the media is too biased out here justifying and defending this lunacy. It infuriates me, but that's what's happening in the world. And honestly, there's some people out there that are doing it. Abba and I like these people. I really do. I don't like certain the takes that they make, but I authentically like I like Schultz. I like watching them. I like their takes most of the time. But when I disagree with them, good Lord, I disagree with them. But that's a topic for a different day. But people who say, I understand why they're doing this, you better in the same breath also say they all need to go to jail. Hardcore. Otherwise, I don't think they should. No, I think they should all go to jail. If you say, I understand, say they should all go to jail. The same way you can understand that somebody who's had something bad done to them directly should not go murdering people for it. Period. Anyways, next story is America overwhelmingly supporting ending the riots. Polls were done, and the overwhelming majority of Americans, I think it was 70% plus, supported the National Guard or some type of intervention to end these riots. Overwhelmingly. So these people who want to get rid of Trump, because they think he's the bad guy, even though he was on top of this once it started, they are virtually guaranteeing that he's going to win. Because if the overwhelming majority of people want these riots to end, and it's Trump and conservatives who are saying and pushing for these riots to end, and it's the left who are saying, let them do what they need to do. We understand. Let it be. It's about time. It was a long time coming. We did nothing. We deserve this. Blah, 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 blah. You're going to lose. And you're going to deserve to lose. I'm going to be very happy when you do lose. And I hope that once Trump has his second term and he's no longer worried about a second campaign, he pushes for justice reform and he pushes for police to get their act together. I want to make sure that all cops that have a record of doing things that are not good are kicked off the force. And all you black people out there who saying you hate cops, how about you sign up to be a cop? You got a job and you'll be able to make a difference from the inside. The same way that the black community needs to have a change made from the inside, police system needs to as well. And they're all good cops. And I think the thing is they need to be pushed to speak out against that stuff even more. And I need to make sure, and I hope that Trump is able to find ways so that cops are not in jeopardy of losing their jobs for pointing out the injustices that they might be committing against their fellow citizens. Simple as that. That's how I feel about that. And I think that Trump is going to get reelected because Americans overwhelmingly don't support these riots. And it seems like it's only one side that's overwhelmingly supporting and essentially defending these riots. And that's going to come home to roost. Just let you know that. And the last thing I want to talk about is David Dorn losing his life. Retired black cop loses his life defending a store. But Black Lives Matter. Yup, Black Lives Matter until it's a black cop. Ex-black cop defending his store. All you guys out there are fake. All of you. I understand. I don't want to hear that. I don't care about I understand. I don't care about I understand. Because when you're saying I understand to a certain degree, you're giving a little bit of justification. We were in unity when this happened. When Floyd lost his life, we were all on the same page. White, black, orange, purple, Puerto Rican, you name it. We were all on the same page. And then you had the dumb idea to riot, pillage, set things afire, and loot. And now that's all that is dominating the news. What should be dominating the news right now is these cops that are going to jail. That should be all that's dominating this news, as well as people on both sides coming together saying, yo, we need a stricter police control. Not control, but control over the police. They need to be held to an even higher standard than before. All of them having body cams. I'm about that. I want that 100%. That's what this conversation should be about. But no, you guys had to put race into it. And then that automatically energized a whole different type of discussion. One, in my humble opinion, is BS. If one group commits more crimes than another group, they're going to interact with the cops more than the rest of the population, therefore increasing the odds of bad things happening with those altercations because you're committing more crimes. The problem is we need to fix our justice system. We need to fix the cops as well. That's what I mean by justice, and the courts as well. I think people out there are getting more sentences than they need. That's, again, a different discussion for a different day. But we need to have it fixed. Our community needs to have it fixed. Seriously. All the problems that we have can almost be directly correlated to the fact that our fathers aren't in our houses. That's it. We need to have a super big emphasis on people keeping their D's in their pants. And if they let it slip out, that they're there to take care of the situation afterwards. And people out there trying to make the dumb argument that that's why we need abortions. You're horrible and you're racist because it's killing black kids more than the rest. You think it's okay that black kids are being murdered. If you think, oh yeah, that's the reason why we should have abortion so that moms can abort their kids when the dad is trying to ski. No. We all can make a change by changing our habits and changing what we do on an individual basis. Because imagine if all these kids out there that would have potentially been rioting had good figures, making sure that they're not out there doing things that they should not, that's going to hurt them in the future. I, in my humble opinion, hope every single person that looted, rioted, or burned anything down has the justice laid upon them to the fullest extent of the law. I want them to be exposed. I want everybody to see their faces, maybe not their faces, their names, so that every time in the future when they're about to get an interview, a job interview, that is on record that these people exploited something tragic happening in our country to do violence Every single one of them. I got no sympathy for any of them. Peaceful protest, 100%. 100%. And I would be protesting out there. But now that the image of protesting has been tainted by this, you won't catch me protesting. You won't. You're not thinking of that. You know how many more people would probably be out there protesting with you of many different shades, many different colors. But because these idiots, and yes, I understand, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, all of them are involved. All those groups need to be disbanded. And yes, there's some good people that are in these organizations. Don't paint the whole organization with the same brush. Okay. But when you're flying your flag, when you repping your uniform, when you're chanting your slogans and burning stuff down, I'm sorry, I can paint you with a brush. That's explicit. Like, if you are chanting that while doing malicious things, it essentially makes me believe that you support it. The organization supports it. And you can't tell me otherwise. Anyways, I pray for David Dorn and his family. Sorry for his loss. I pray that man, imagine if white people, now very mad that David Dorn lost his life, went out and started burning shit down. I bet you the media would change its tone real quick. How dare they protest? How dare they this? Okay. We're protesting the death of a black man, an innocent black man. Same way you guys were. But we're protesting them from you horrible protesters. Bet you would change oh my gosh, you would change it so quick. The media in this country used to, actually, it was probably liberal back in the day, but at least they tried their best to appear to not take sides. Now, everybody is taking sides. This should just be about injustice, but it's not. And it sucks that our entire week has been dominated by this and people are losing their livelihoods. But it's the perfect storm. You guys force people to stay home, lose their jobs, and then had something like this happen, and then had the media promote it in a way that would spark racial tension. And then we have a bunch of ignorant, dumb, mindless kids and idiots out there who will look for any reason to be violent. And those out there who actually feel like they're justified in doing this violence as well. All of them need to go to jail. And we need to get our country back. Trump, lay down the hammer. Bring in what you need to bring in. People need to feel safe in their neighborhoods again. That's another thing. You guys want to feel safe. This injustices are making you feel unsafe in your neighborhoods. And you out here burning stuff, making people feel unsafe in their neighborhoods. You idiots. All of you. Jail for them all. Anyways, thank you for listening. Sorry that probably ranted more. It's really upset me. But thank you for listening. Please like, share, subscribe. I'm still a super small channel. I would like to grow, be able to speak to more people, be able to have people to come on the show and actually have more conversations. And I appreciate everybody for it. Support this channel. I got a book called Why I, Young Black Man, Voted for Trump. That's about the only revenue stream I can use to better this channel at this point while I try to get things set up. All purchases will be used for this channel, and thank you for it. Again, thank you guys. Have a blessed one. Stay safe.